Hey everybody, Jessica Zadella here, Cub Scout Roundtable Commissioner, Pioneer District in New Britain Freedom Council. I am back to you talking about international scouting once again. Tonight I'm actually going to talk to you about WOSM, WOSM, what it is, what it does, or what it's about, and how to use the scout.org website, which is the World Organization of Scout Movement. Ugh, that is a tongue twister, just like saying my titles. But Scout.org is the World Organization of Scout Movement website, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what you can find on there and how it is useful to your pack, crew, troop, ship, venturer post, or explorer post, or venturing crew. So, first of all, if you don't know anything about international scouting, you're not really going to understand what WOSM means, or World Organization of Scout Movement. So I'm going to tell you what that means. Here's my trusted Google. The World Organization of Scout Movement, or WOSM, is an independent, worldwide, nonprofit, and nonpartisan organization which serves the Scout movement. Its purpose is to promote unity and the understanding of scouting's purpose, and principles while facilitating its expansion and development. In short terms, pretty much what the World Organization of Scout Movement is, it's kind of like Scouts BSA, so Boy Scouts of America. It's kind of like that, but worldwide. And I'm talking about every single country in the world outside of the United States. Pretty much. It's huge. One thing that I absolutely love about what the World Organization of Scout Movement stands for is the sustainability and the sustainability goals. They're trying to help end hunger, help reduce plastic. It's everything they stand by, and it's truly amazing. So, if you go to scout.org, I got it right here on my iPad. I'm going to go over a couple of different things on what you can find every single month and every single day on scout.org and kind of how to use it to your advantage, even if you're in the States. So, first of all, the first thing that comes up when you go to scout.org, it says find out about Scouts COVID-19 actions worldwide and access latest information and guidance resources. There's also a Scouts Emergency Response Fund to COVID-19. You can donate to help Scouts around the world, just like our first responders are here in the States, working at the hospital, stuff like that. There are Scouts around the world that are helping with the COVID-19 emergency response. A, because they're allowed to in the other countries, and B, they're just trying to make a difference. So you can donate to their causes, whether it be to help get extra water bottles, to help get extra hygiene kits, to set up more COVID testing tents, what have you. That donation site or center on scout.org helps with all of that. One thing that I love about this site as well, if there's any big events, it gives you the recaps. So in my last video, I talked about Jody recap. It also is on the scout.org website. So it goes over a little bit, touch bases on what was in the international adventure newsletter, which again was the Jody recap. Goes over a little bit about that. One of the things that is on here now, let me scroll down a little bit. Okay. Loading. So, okay. If you don't know what SDGs means, it's Sustainability Development Goals. When me and my son were at the World Scout Jamboree, one of the things that was talked about in the Be a Better World tent was these SDGs, Sustainability Development Goals. There are 17. I'm actually going to read you every single one of them because even if you are a Cub Scout and you're a Lion Scout and you're in kindergarten, there's things that you can do for service projects. Because every single rank, even in Cub Scouts, you have to have a service project. There's some of these SDGs that you can start working on to help make the world a better place, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm going to read you every single one of them. I'm not going to go into detail about every single one of them because, again, they're on scout.org. So number 1 is no poverty. Number 2 is zero hunger. Number 3 is good health and well-being. Number 4 is quality education. Number 5 is gender equality. Number 6 is clean water and sanitation. Number 7, affordable and clean energy. Number 8, decent work and economic growth. Number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Number 10, reduced inequalities. Number 11, sustainable communities. Number 12, responsible consumption and production. Number 13, climate action. Number 14, life below water, which I think is my favorite. Number 15, life on land. 16, peace, justice, and strong intuitions. And 17, partnership for the goals. So let's talk Cub Scout level, and then let's talk Scouts BSA and on. When it comes to the Cub Scout levels, unless you have like this super servicey project type person, you're not going to get a lot of the big projects at the Cub Scout level. When you get into the Scouts BSA, the venture crews, the ships, and so on and so forth, you're going to get more of those in-depth details. When it comes to the projects, you're going to have bigger projects. You're going to have more, I wouldn't say life-sustaining, but life-changing projects. You got your Eagle project. You got, your Sea Ship Awards, stuff like that. That's probably the wrong name for it, but I am not on a crew of a ship, so my apologies. But when it comes to, for instance, my son got a rain barrel from my grandparents last year. So we, even if it was very, very small, we have a big rain barrel and we got our gutters cleaned. So just those 2 things, we were able to stop using the hose when it came to having to water our garden. We grow our own vegetables. So that's something we don't give, during COVID times, we don't give it out to people or anything like that. But we grow our own vegetables. We collect rainwater to reuse to water our plants. We have a big garden in our backyard. And we have a fish pond, we have tomatoes in our backyard. We have lettuce growing in the front. But we use that rain barrel from the, with the rainwater that we collect for it. And we use it to reuse and essentially reuse and recycle that water to be able to water our garden and our plants instead of having to use the hose. We have done park cleanups, which is dealing with the clean ecosystems, reducing the use of straws, which helps with the life underwater, less plastic being used. We have, we've stopped, like if something comes in bulk, for instance, like there's some places in some areas, not necessarily where we're at, but in some areas you can go to the grocery store and instead of buying a box cereal, it's kind of like the candy aisle where you can just scoop your own cereal into a bag or a jar, and which reduces the plastic and waste that way. There are some places in the United States that do that. One of the cool things about the SDGs page on the scout.org is that it gives you service project ideas. So I'm going to go in, let's say, life below water. Now this is more for the older scouts, because you're really getting into those bigger projects. A lot of the Cub Scouts are not going to be ready for those, if that makes any sense. So for instance, the Life Underwater SDG, or Sustainability Development Goal, there's a 14 check off list, to-do list. And it says, hold a debate in your scout group on the topic, do oceans need us, or do we need them? At a campfire, do a role-playing exercise to understand the experience of climate change refugees like islanders have being to leave their home because of rising sea levels. Number 3 is by 2050 there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. Stop using plastic bags, straws, and other single-use plastics, and convince all of your friends and family to do the same. So that could easily start with your scout pack, going completely plastic free. This one you can also do, especially if you live on the eastern shore or western shore of the, coast-wise, because you have the lakes and you have, like, for instance, we have the Susquehanna River, so we can easily do this. Take your scout group to a local river or seaside to run a cleanup project. That is an easy one Cub Scouts can do. Even if you have a small little lake or a pond, that still counts. It's got to run somewhere, but Cub Scouts can easily do that one. Just teach them water safety, making sure they're not going too close to the water, making sure they're using gloves, or if you have a little poker thing, or even hiking sticks without the little rubber thing on the end, that it works really well to pick up trash. Obviously, if there's any syringes or anything like that, make sure you call your local police department to have them come out and dispose of it properly. And that the police department or officer, whoever comes out, can actually give them a lesson on why you don't want to touch those. As far as this little safety briefing, obviously be careful with cigarette butts and stuff like that. But Cub Scouts can absolutely do a riverside cleanup. Number 5 is run an awareness campaign about how plastic use affects the seas, oceans, and their entire ecosystem. If there's a Cub Scout out there in your pack that really, really likes marine wildlife, and this also counts for the NOVA Awards, you can easily do this and count it as balls. You can work towards the SDGs, but it can also work towards one of the NOVA Awards. Number 6 is organize a small community project to revive a water source that was destroyed due to human habitats over riverbank cultivation. So that, again, would be more of a Scouts BSA and above type project, because there would be a lot of building, a lot of more extensive knots and stuff like that the Cub Scouts have not learned yet. Write an article to spread the message about how important marine life is and why we need to protect it from poaching. Offer solutions to people who rely on animal poaching as a source of income. Again, it could be maybe an older, like a Webelos or Era of Light Scout, but more so a Scouts BSA and above type project. Advocate for biodiversity using the Pixar pitch activity and the Champions for Nature Action Kit. Again, more of a Scouts BSA and above type thing. One cool thing about this, not just this specific STG, but all of them show this. It says, what are Scouts doing? What are they doing across the globe to work on this SDG? So, for instance, back in 2018, they had a World Ocean Day Symposium, 2018. There's ocean reforestations. Back in 2017, Toga Beach cleaning. 2017 to celebrate World Ocean Day. And it says, see all Scouts projects. So it gives you ideas, even though we are stateside and we are not a part of the World Organization of Scout Movement, we're a part of the Scouts BSA. It gives you the Scout projects that people have done across the world for ideas that we can do here stateside. But there's a way for you to explore your goals, to check off the actual things that you're doing, give you a world map and everything. Going back to the scout.org, aside from the STGs and the Joda Jody recap and what have you, this website helps give you insight to what what scouts and scouters across the world are doing. So for instance, one of the things outside of the STGs, outside of the Joda Jody, what have yous, let me see if I can find it again. So I'm just going to read you some of the articles. The Czech Scouts partner with the National Hotline Crisis Service to offer help to the elderly. Sudan Scouts Association performance during severe flooding. So again, kind of like those hometown heroes, those scouts are reaching out. Yes, they are older. Keep that in mind. Scouting in other countries does not stop at 18. There are venturing and explorer posts and stuff like that go until I believe they're 24. So keep that in mind. Here in the States, Scouts BSA stops at 18, but then you have venturing that goes until you're 21 here. But in other countries, as a scout, it does go until I believe you're 24. So keep this in mind when I'm talking about these big things that they're trying to do. Helping like as hometown heroes and stuff like that, they are older. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Boy Scouts of Bahrain integrates individuals with disabilities into its programs, which is something that's fantastic because even here in the States, we love to include special needs kids and adults into our programs, and Bahrain is finally getting on track with doing so. So it highlights that in some of their news articles. Kuwaiti Boy Scouts Association offers government its facilities to help fight against coronavirus. You know, they gave them their space that they meet with to be able to test and do all of that stuff. It says every drop counts. Egyptian Scout Waters using rationalization campaign. So a scout in the Egyptian Scouts Association came up with this project, kind of like an Eagle Scout project, and it's working with rationalization for the campaign. There was one. It's called Giving Tuesday 2020. Let me see if I can bring it up here. I really want to talk to you about this because we can do this here in the States as well. Giving Tuesday 2020. I'm not left-handed, so this is kind of weird and awkward. Okay. Oh, it's not giving it to me. I guess it's not going to give it to me. But regardless, those are at least two things. So the sustainability development goals, you have some of your recaps from any big events. I know when the World Scout Moot 2022 is, after that's done, it'll be posted. The next World Scout Jamboree, which is going to be, I believe, in Japan. That's 2023. Because every 4 years, and the last one was last year. So after that happens, that'll be posted on scout.org for all the recaps. One big thing that this website gives you is your messenger of peace projects. It gives you ideas. You're able to track it on scouts.org or scout.org. I know for my son and myself's messenger of peace project back in March, I told him that if he sold $1,000 or more in popcorn sales in 2019, that he could cut my hair. My hair was down to my belt, and 10 minutes before the deadline, he got $3 over. So he cut my hair from really, really, really long to about right here, cut 13 inches off, and he selected to donate where he wanted to donate it. which was Wigs for Kids. He earned a patch for it, but he also got his Messenger of Peace award from doing that project. So we were able to take that project, kind of write a little bit about it, and how it came about, and put it on the Scouts.org website for all of the WOSM and the Scouts BSA people to be able to view it, see it that it's a Messenger of Peace project, and then give them that idea as well. The Messenger of Peace projects can be super tiny. It could be somebody just, cutting their hair and donating it. It could be a water restoration project. It could be a soil restoration project. It can be anything super small to super, super big, depending on what you want to do. At the Cub Scout level, it could be easily a trash pickup day. It could be a river cleanup. It could be me cutting my hair. It could be, I'm trying to think of the different projects that Cub Scouts can do. You know what? We're going to look at the website and see what projects there are. Okay. So, alrighty. So, here are a couple project examples. Again, use this as the discretion if you're in Cub Scouts. Obviously, you're going to make it a little bit more simple for them. If you're Scouts BSA or above, you can do some of the more intricate projects. So sample project ideas: personal dimension, host a holiday party for prison inmates. You could do it at the Cub Scout level, but most parents are going to say no, thank you. So keep that in mind. Collect books and magazines for inner city kids. You can definitely do that. We have the Scout Reach program, especially in my area. We have it for the East Shore. We're on the West Shore. Conduct entertainment programs, including skits and plays at a nursing home. That would be pre-COVID times. One thing that you can do is you can always make a video of your entire pack doing skits, and individual people doing skits or songs or playing an instrument, and then make one giant video, send it to a nursing home, and say, hey, look, we want to entertain them, but we know COVID's kind of not happening, letting us happen right now, so here's a video for you guys to play. And that could work. Make and donate gift boxes to be distributed by Feed the Children. Scouting for food, which is what we just did this past weekend, is a Messenger of Peace project. One weekend, the first weekend in November, you put out door hangers. The second weekend, you collect the food. Food goes to the food banks, and you are essentially helping feed the community. Assist organizations that provide home maintenance services in those in need. Obviously, a Cub Scout would not be doing that. Clean a Habitat for Humanity house before the family moves in. Again, Cub Scouts wouldn't be doing that. Community dimensions. Create a community prayer garden. We were supposed to do that earlier this year, but again, COVID happened. Replace graffiti with peace-related murals. Obviously, it's going to be an older Scouts project. Plan a sports tournament that brings together kids from different segments of the community. That could really work for a diversity and inclusion project. It could easily be an Eagle Scout project. It could be a wood badge ticket. Hint, going to wood badge. That could again count for the Messenger of Peace as well. Some of the older Scouts and crews and stuff like that could easily serve as victims at a county EMT or first responders training course. I know when I was in high school, we had the fake car crash right outside of our high school. Essentially, don't drink and drive. That was the training course, and we had they had selected students from our high school to be victims, essentially be laying outside of the car covered in fake blood, and the EMTs had to be called They came and got us. They did the jaws of life and everything. And we were dragged out of the car, did CPR on, cleaned up the face, from the fake blood, put on the stretcher, put in the ambulance, and what have you. So that's, some Cub Scouts may be traumatized by it, but I know my third grader would be like, "Oh, that's cool," because of the fake blood and what have you. So Cub Scouts can do it, but obviously COVID times, they're not holding training courses for that at schools. But once COVID kind of like dies down, that would be a really cool project for them to work on. Because obviously you're going to, EMTs come across kids that are in accidents and what have you. So they need to practice on kids too. Being able to talk to them, keep them calm, what have you. Some environmental dimensions, clean up a campground, local park, river, or school parking lot. One thing that I always like to tell my pack is whenever you're going on a hike, make sure you have a plastic bag with you or some type of bag to clean up trash. That way obviously a plastic bag is not a single use bag. You can use it multiple times. So, taking a bag that you can throw away. I normally use just like a little sandwich bag. I put my sandwich in it, eat it, and then use it. And I actually pick up trash while I'm hiking, to be able to, make that place a little cleaner. So that works as well. As this was a shoreline restoration project, again, that's going to be more of an older scouts type project, especially if there's any like building or anything like that. Remove invasive species and plant native trees in a park. Scouts BSA and above would be able to do the removal. Cub Scouts, if you have a feeder Cub Scout pack, they could be the one planting the trees and helping. So that works as well. Volunteer at a community recycle center. Again, it's going to be more of the older scouts. If you're in places like California or anywhere that you get a lot of wildfires, environmental dimension, you can clear brush from a fire buffer zone. Those are just some of the different Messenger of Peace projects, but Scout.org has a lot of different projects that scouts all over the world have done. There's some places in third world countries where scouts are providing clean water and the filtration systems and they're building this filtration system to be able to provide clean water for their community. And there's so many different projects you can do for Messenger of Peace. But the Scout.org website is where you can log it. You can log it. You can earn your the circle that goes around the fleur-de-lis. There is a necker that is white and it has a green and purple trim. There's a wrist bracelet that's silicone. There's a woggle. I think that's it. There may be a hat. I can't remember, but all of that's on the World Scout shop. But earning the Messenger of Peace circle that goes around the fleur-de-lis shows people in your community that may not be Scouters, or maybe they're veterans and they were an Eagle Scout or they were in Cub Scouts when they were younger. Showing the people in your community, when you wear that proud, that you're making a difference. You're trying to live by the Scout law. You're trying to make a difference in your community, and that you've already done at least one project. International Scouting and the World Organization of Scout Movement does not have to be just, it's overseas. You can do so many different things that are listed on the Scout.org website right in your backyard. You can go to your local park and build a community prayer garden. Or depending on the laws and regulations of your borough or community, you can easily start a vegetable or a fruit garden at your house and make sure you cultivate it, make sure you get all the permits that you need and what have you. And let's say you're out, your chartered organization, you decide to do it there. You can easily donate it to the local food bank for fresh fruits and veggies. There's so many different ways that you can earn that Messenger of Peace badge badge, neck, or whatever you want to earn. But once you earn it, wear it really proud on your uniform, because once people see that it says Messenger of Peace, they know that you're trying to make a difference. So those are 3 things off the scout.org website that is really helpful when it comes to international scouting. And sorry, I just drew a blank. Oh my gosh. But that's 3 things off the website that you can use to promote international scouting within your pack. Pack, troop, crew, ship, explorer post. I think that's all of them. And if you're outside of the country, Rover Scouts, you can earn some of those too. But one thing I do want to mention, and this is not on the website, but this was mentioned in the University of Scouting that I participated in the Pacific Harbors Council, all the way in Seattle, Washington. A lot of them were from Tacoma, Seattle, but recognized as adult leaders that are helping with these projects. Whether it be you award them the Messenger of Peace project too, because they're helping, they're doing the project right. Or even just printing off a certificate that says certificate of achievement or certificate of peace. A helper's thank you. Write them a card. Say, thank you so much for helping with this project. You helped me earn this badge, or you helped me earn this pin, or you helped me earn this thing I can wear on my uniform that's, I'm very proud of it. Thank you. Make sure you are recognizing your adult leaders, because we're volunteers, but there's so many packs and troops out there that don't even know that the adults have the recognition too. They have the nuts. They have the awards, just like we do as scouts, or just like I should say my son is scouts, because I'm not a scout. I'm a scouter. But we have our knots. We have our pins. We have our medals. But it's the scouter's paycheck. Getting that thank you card, or getting that hug pre-COVID times from the scouts and saying, thank you so much for helping with my project. I was able to make a difference. That is your scouter's paycheck. And when it comes to international scouting, let's say you got them on Joe to Jody, being able to see those kids' excitement from jumping on the ham radio or jumping on YouTube when it's a live show, seeing and hearing the accents from other scouters across the world, or being able to actually chat with them or do the games, and learn about the culture of scouting across the world. That is the scouter's paycheck. It really is. And when it comes to international scouting, seeing these tiny little cubs, seeing these, cubs, how they are, because cubs, I believe, in international scouting doesn't start till 3rd grade. It's something completely different from kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd, which is really cool because, we have our Bear Scouts, but even lions, they're considered lion cubs. They're still Cub Scouts. So learning the different ranks and what have yous that they do internationally is really interesting to those Cub Scouts. But as a leader, it is the scouter's paycheck, being able to see their face light up and them saying, thank you so much for introducing me to this. This is so cool. But being able to have that recognition as an adult as well. It's like being a kid in a candy store, just like the scouts feel when they earn a belt loop. But those are my 3 things off the scout.org website. That is what WOSM is, which is the World Organization of Scout Movement. If you have not looked into international scouting yet, do so. Bring it back to your pack, and I'm sure there's going to be ways for you to incorporate international scouting, even if it is just a Messenger of Peace award within your pack, troop, crew, ship, post, what have you. There are a lot of units out there that do not know that there's a Messenger of Peace badge, or they know that there's international scouting, but they've never really dabbled into it. Now's the time, because there are so many councils out there that don't even have an international representative. And our our job as scouters is to be able to work as one, be able to help others, and make the world a better place. So we are still using this hashtag scouting at home. You can find me on Facebook, or you can find these videos, I should say, on Facebook at New Birth of Freedom Council or New Birth of Freedom Council, BSA, newbirthoffreedom.org under the Scout Hub. My district specifically is Pioneer District, New Birth of Freedom Council, BSA. Or again, if you, let's say you're across the country, I'm sure you've had these videos shared with you, but you can find us with that scouting at home hashtag. I hope you guys enjoy your night and keep on scouting. Bye.